Check. I hope the audio's working. Let me give it a check. They screwed with the interface a little bit here, and it caught me very off guard. So let me go ahead and check that out. I know the shot's a little wonky. I apologize. I realize. Shot's a little wonky. Audio seems all right. Yeah, I realize you're staring at a lot of desk here. Very sorry for that. Does that help? No, it doesn't. All right, I'll come closer, is what I'll do. Come a little bit closer, you're my kind of man. That I've been hearing that song a lot lately. So it's the summertime. It's time for the oldies. That's what you do in the summer. You listen to the oldies, and you release the goddamn Epstein list. ah, it's Friday night. Tested the audio. The audio is a working. The socials: Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. YouTube at Mike's Golden Streams. It's Sacktap Live. It's Friday night. It's good to be here live. I think there have been a lot of pre-records and weeks off and etc. lately, so good to be here doing it for real. Let me pull up my little sheet here. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna watch the videos. Everyone's seen the Shane Gillis clips, at least from the ESPYs the other night. Absolutely hilarious. But of course, there are these humorless cunts. I'm as you know, I'm a very big Redditor, and fuck. Oh, I just realized one of my lights over there is out. Is that how badly is that affecting the quality? No problem. I do enjoy a nice peruse of Reddit, and Redditors tend to be a very they get their panties in a bunch rather easily. So I searched the Shane Gillis thing on Reddit to see how people were responding, and boy, the Bill Simmons listenership on Reddit, what a bunch of fucking dorks. And I guess it's to be expected from people who are Bill Simmons fans. I feel like Bill Simmons fans, to me, are the kind of guys who they saw that I think it was Gillette did that toxic masculinity ad a few years ago, and I feel like Bill Simmons fans are the kind of people who saw that ad and really took it to heart. Like that's what that type of there's that very specific type of white dude. Yes, Andrew Bennett. Yes, I would say they're in that arena with Olbermann fans, where they're like, it's a very a lot of like suburban soft boys, like guys who have moved out to the suburbs. I feel like if you're a white dude and you move out to the burbs, you go in one of two directions. Like you become a complete soft boy, or you become an absolute vigilante who's trying to keep any hint of any threat out of his hometown. And you know what I'm talking about when I say that. You go like one of two ways. But yeah, I was not shocked by it, but it's always one of those things where it's like fun to hate read. Like you read through the comments that they're making, and you're just you're imagining running into these guys at a barbecue somewhere, some barbecue that you get dragged to. Yeah, they're the same ones. They're the same ones that quote concussion statistics at the Super Bowl party. It's these guys. Um, Cowster, good to see you. Kaz, Wayward Native, Andrew Bennett, Cheese. Just started Anavar Winstrol. What do I expect? I don't know. I'm not a huge steroid guy, let's see what Google's AI feature has to say about Anavar and Winstrol before we get started with the rest of our topics for tonight. Anavar and Winstrol. What to expect? Now, I'm going to be honest. They didn't give much of. They gave a very basic. The AI did not do a very good job here. It's just telling us that they're steroids and people use steroids to build muscle, but that it's not condoned by many sporting organizations. That doesn't help. Um, Anavar uses side effects and more common side effects. Here's some frequently noted side effects. Although Anavar is described as milder compared to other steroids, it still carries significant risks. Here are your possible side effects: liver strain. Oxandrolone is metabolized by the liver, and extended use can irritate or damage this vital organ. Cholesterol imbalances. Anavar can increase bad LDL cholesterol while reducing good HDL cholesterol, which may lead to heart issues over time. Make sure you're taking your fish oil and eating your sardines, I guess, if you're on. Digestive discomfort, nausea, vomiting, and stomach aches can happen, especially when taking higher doses. I guess so. That's be careful with your dosage. Mood swings. Users sometimes experience irritability, aggression, or abrupt shifts in mood, often called roid rage. Yeah, don't be a dick. Don't let it send you into a spiral of shitty behavior. You got to watch out for that. Um, Long term effects. Although Anavar can deliver short term muscle gains and fat loss, long term or improper use magnifies the risks. Sustained use may lead to liver complications. They're really hammering this liver stuff. Yeah, you might wind up on dialysis or whatever they do with people with. I think it's dialysis for kidneys, right? I don't know. I don't work in an emergency room. Heart and circulatory concerns. By altering cholesterol balance, Anavar can aid in atherosclerosis development, raising the risk of heart attack or strokes. Yeah. Be careful with that shit. You don't want to fuck around with your ticker. Hormone suppression. The body's own production of testosterone can be inhibited, leading to issues such as low libido, fatigue, and mental sluggishness. Yeah, I remember I had a friend who was really big on Deca, and they get Deca Dick, um, and I think you wind up having to take Viagra, and I guess you get really hard, but you can't finish. It's apparently very frustrating. Psychological dependency over time, reliance on Anavar's performance enhancing effects might become an addiction, driving prolonged usage and amplifying the chance of dangerous side effects. So be careful with that. I would imagine Winstrol has some side effects as well. What's up with Winnie? Collagen breakdown and tendon damage, neurological agitation and mood volatility, immune suppression and slow recovery from illness. So if you're taking this cycle so you can be buff and cut for the boys out on Fire Island, make sure you're using protection because you don't want that white blood cell count to suffer. Um, Vascular fragility and capillary damage. That can't be good. Severe lipid disruption and long-term cardiovascular risk. Yeah, they're hammering that for both of them. I would be very very careful with this stuff. Make sure if one is. I'm not a doctor, so don't take your advice from me, but I would find a qualified professional to administer such things. Yeah, be very careful. Philly Fathead, brother man, checking in. Um, Jeez, your heart's been broken, Sev. You poor boy. Jeez. Um, well, good luck to you, sir. Um, so there are a few things I want to talk about. The news, obviously, is this Trump situation, Epstein, you know, the files, because the government had all of that shit under Democratic leadership. Like, they had all the information, and those guys were going above and beyond to make sure that Donald Trump did not get elected. So you have to assume that if there was anything really damning against him in there, in the files, that would have been the October surprise. Um, so I know there's this Wall Street Journal report about Trump writing this card. Where is the? I wonder if they have the. Do they have the body letter? Let's see. They don't have the whole fucking Reuters. They don't have the whole text uh, of the body letter. But it concludes. It's the text is framed by the outline of a naked woman, and it concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." And featured the signature Donald, which I don't know. I First of all, I think it's someone completely made that up and sold it to the Wall Street Journal as real, and I think it's going to get them in a lot of fucking financial trouble. Um, but also, like, I don't know if you're involved in such things as Epstein was, and as this cabal of the rich and famous are. Would you like would you write some shit like that knowing that it could be used against you, or are you so arrogant that you think you can get away with it? I mean, to be honest, it doesn't read like Trump. Like, it doesn't come off in his voice. Like, the whole thing is highly sus. Um but um apparently the Trump has ordered the release of grand jury documents, um, but I don't know what's actually in those. Like, I think what people want the little black book, because this says grand juries review evidence from prosecutors to determine, of course, whether people should be indicted. So we know that. It doesn't say what kind of shit would be. Uh, so they're talking about releasing transcripts, and obviously names could come up in transcripts. But yeah, I think what people want the little black book, right? Whose names in there? Who was down there doing what? That's what we want to know. But the thing is, how do we know? Right? We don't know, because he was so powerful that, of course, he's a billionaire pedophile. He is probably friends with the other billionaire pedophiles, but he's also probably friends with a lot of people who aren't doing pedophile stuff. Like, you know, you do have big circles. It's not like every powerful person is banging children, right? There is a cabal of them who are doing it, but it's not. We certainly hope it's not all of them, right? We hope some of them are behaving themselves to a degree. Um, so yeah, with it's just, I guess it's just going to be a constant. That's the thing with Trump, is like, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and he might just say fuck it and tweet the list. Like he might just be like 3 a.m. on a Tuesday and say, you know what, fuck it, I've decided I'm going to start tweeting the Epstein list, and like he might just start tweeting fucking pictures from inside Epstein's little black book and like photographs from like the surveillance cameras on the island. Who knows? Like anything is possible. That's the fun of the Trump administration, is that anything is possible at any time. Anyone on the planet might find themselves appointed to a cabinet position if they impress the Donald the right way. Um, you know, if he had met a fucking cashier when he was working at that McDonald's on the campaign trail, there's a good chance that he might have made them commerce secretary. So you never know. It's just every day. Every day is another wonderful secret, I guess. Fun, fun, fun. Um, Stephen King is on the list. Is Stephen King is he like that? I know he's I think he's like a big is he a big anti-Trump guy? I feel like he's always spouting off about how much he hates Trump. Um, Chucky D, good to have you here. Got back from being a bachelor at a wedding. Were you in the wedding party, or you're just a bachelor who went to a wedding? Um, did you get any muff? Any puss at the wedding? Inquiring minds want to know. Um, well, okay, okay then, cheese. Wow, is it? What is it? It's a fucking book about Afghanistan. That sounds a lot like Bakabazi. Um, anyway, we wait with bated breath. We'll see. Again, I think if it comes out, it'll just be in this wild fucking dump. Like he'll send a copy to Steve Ducey or something like that. It'll be something ridiculous. Because he's Trump. That's what he does. Um, what else? I have three more things I want to get to. I guess I'll start with this one. So, um, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Gen Z stare is the big sort of online debate. There's these generational debates take place every once in a while on the internet, and for a while, I guess at some point over lockdown, Gen Z started sniping at millennials, um, and millennials are like raising children and shit. So like, I guess it took a while for our generation to catch on that this was going on, and now we've kind of been clapping back at these little fucking weirdos because they are. That's what Gen Z is. They're fucking weirdos. Uh, like they haven't experienced a normal world. Like millennials, especially the older millennials who are closer to Gen X, like the ones that grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, like we grew up in a sort of normal world. Like we had our programming was normal before the world became kind of fucked up. These little fucking psychopaths all grew up in an all like they were born into a world that was already absolutely cooked because of the internet and social media, and then they got hit with the lockdown, and they all became even fucking weirder. They're all a bunch of little autists. Like it's very they're a very strange bunch. Um, and this Gen Z stare, because people have noticed that when you interact with people in Gen Z, they have they have legitimate difficulty sort of just going back and forth in a normal conversation. Like they kind of just like they accused millennials of doing the millennial pause when we make videos because we're waiting for the recording to start. So we pause because we're used to cameras that take a beat or two to get going, and obviously new cameras just roll immediately. But they do a real life millennial pause. Like if you ask, like if they're working like a checkout counter or something like that, they have this thing where they kind of like you say something to them and then they stare. It's almost like it's like a living Zoom delay. Like they're staring at you, like they're very confused as to what you just said and its implications and what they should do. And you know you ask them to do something and they're like they don't. I guess they haven't had to. A lot of them haven't had to complete like real world like physical tasks. Everything they've done is digital. So like just shit like go fucking if you're working at a coffee shop like fucking sending one of them to go get a fucking big bag of beans to bring to the front, like that will be met with like just like a blank stare, and they might go do it eventually, but like it'll be kind of like, oh, you wanted me to do that now, like you'll be like waiting for it. It'll be like, yo, are those fucking beans coming? It's almost like they're all stoners, like they're all because they're all on every every amount of whatever Xanax and Adderall and Zyn, like they're all on just this wild fucking concoction of all sorts of shit. They're vaping all fucking day. Um, yeah, they freeze up. Um, Here's this one. Let's see. And this is a 20-year-old calling it out too. That's interesting. On a recent visit to Cold Stone Creamery, Brenda Alarcon asked a young worker for their favorite flavor. The employee stared back. The transaction was made with minimal words, she said. She said she'd seen the Gen Z stare in professional settings too. At a recent networking event, she noticed that other Gen Z networkers would freeze up. I'm the one that's keeping the conversation going, she said. It's not just one time, it's multiple. She has her suspicions as to the root cause. The COVID-19 pandemic is an obvious answer, she said. Another theory stems from her earlier days as a waitress when she would serve blank looking young customers. It's because they hit their pen, referring to the slim THC oil vape pens that have become popular in the past 5 years. Yeah, I mean, it really is they're almost like the entire generation is almost like the stereotype of the 90s stoner. Like they're all wearing incredibly baggy clothes. They're all a little bit hunched over and they're all, a little slow. Um, what are the rest of these? Here's one. Megan Easton. She accepts the idea that her generation is more socially awkward than others. Um she said she mostly believes her generation's stare is an air of nonchalance. It comes from a lack of caring as much what people think, where an older generation might think it's rude or not socially acceptable. Gen Z is more to the point, and their humor is a little drier. Is it? I guess I don't know. I've really been blown away by any Gen Z comedy, to be totally honest. Um, Again, I think this is just people just because you watch fucking Rick and Morty. Doesn't mean you get to take 30 seconds to respond when someone asks you what sizes the sodas come in at the Five Guys or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, that's great. Their humor's a little drier. I don't know what the fuck that means. Just fucking just put the fucking hey, here's something you guys will understand. Just put the fucking fries in the bag, all right, bro? Um this one, Lindsay, said she interacts with Gen Z baristas by saying, "I'm ready to order when you are, no rush." That way, if the barista does have social anxiety, allows them to work on their own timeline and not just stare back. That's the thing. That's like that's like what a therapist does. Like you sit down, you open, or if you're doing like an online session, you open up the chat. How are you? How are you? Okay, so we'll get going. You tell me, how would you like to start? It shouldn't be happening at fucking Starbucks. Just make the fucking coffee. It's fucking cold brew. Like that's all anyone's ordering these days is fucking cold brew. Just fucking cold brew with some sort of stupid foam and syrup. Very easy. Anyway, what do you what do you boys think of the Gen Z stare? I'm going to break from the Gen Z stare a moment to check into this. Um, why are CrossFit couples also always swingers? Is that true? Are CrossFit couples always swingers? I may if are they so I'm always confused by swingers. Will they just like allow you to bang the chick or does the husband have to get something out of it too? I might start hanging out at the CrossFit gym. Um Yes, Andrew, I have noticed that as well. Just because I live where I live, there's a lot of it's an area where it's everyone's in their 20s, 30s, 40s. It's a very like young area, and now those kids are starting to like be out at bars and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a wild scene. You go out to like a club, and they're there in like baggy sweatpants and baggy jeans. Like they're all very they're a very strange group. Congratulations, Chucky. Yeah, millennials, it's fun. I like being a millennial. We're good. I'm cool with the millennials. The younger millennials got a little weird there at the end. The ones who are too close to Gen Z, they got they got a bit strange. Yeah, that Conqueror, I tend to agree with you. I find Gen Xers are huge complete. Boomers are just going straight off the fucking deep end. I've been I was down this past weekend hanging out with my parents down at their place down the shore, and they are, I mean, just the entire generation. They are all fucking nuts. You just listen to them. Every time I sit down and listen to a couple boomers chat it up, like it's conversational insanity. Um, Patrick Bateman, good to have you here. Welcome aboard. Yeah, so anyway, the Gen Z stare. They're an interesting bunch. It's gonna be very interesting to see what Generation Alpha is like, because it seems like, I don't know. I mean, I never thought in terms of generations, to be totally honest, until people started pointing out that we were millennials. Like, it wasn't something that when I was growing up we really talked much about. It seems to be a very new thing. I mean, I know there's, in the past there was the generational divide in like the Woodstock era and all that shit, but growing up I never really thought in terms of being a millennial until into my 30s, when people started like referring to it, or like my late 20s maybe. I think it wasn't until like the younger millennials came around that people really started talking about millennials. Um, and I don't know that like millennials and Gen Z and Gen X and boomers really gave much of a shit about each other. And then Gen Z came along and just started blaming everyone who was older than them for destroying the planet. And now that Gen Z is kind of old enough to take a punch, I feel like everyone's just going to start shitting on them. And it's going to be a lot of fun as Gen Z approaches, like the first Gen Zers start like hitting their 30s. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Generation Alpha start shitting on Gen Z, and Gen Z not know how to react to it, because they are a very, very emotionally fragile generation. And I say this as a millennial, and we were accused of being emotionally fragile. These little bitches are emotionally fragile. So that'll be fun to watch. What intellect being displayed in the comments section this evening? Wow, you guys really, we came to have a discussion tonight. How about that? Very good. Moving on. Meet the Normans. I guess I should. Um, I kind of want. I want to see if I can open this as an image in another tab so I can share it with you. These are apparently the Normans. Let me present. Where's the? Here it is. So these are apparently the Normans. These are. I will. We will get. We're gonna figure out who the Normans are. The Normans, the defining person type of 2025: mullets, mustaches, and Maddie Matheson. Anthropomorphic pizza mascots. The Normans are the loyal Carner loving style tribe with a big sandwich fetish, and they're coming to a town near you. Um, so this was in Vice. It came across my Instagram feed today. The fuck? There we go. That was annoying. It's fucking ads. Um, The author writes, some months back I was on the top deck of a night bus rolling through the more esoteric parts of Hackney when it was suddenly invaded. The doors burst open and the marauders bounded upstairs, claiming every seat, throwing up their feet, cracking open windows and bottles, and cackling. However, this gang did not come from the feverish nightmares of people who spend too much time mainlanding public transport attack videos on X. Instead of ballies, zipper hoods, and reappropriated COVID masks, they wore a uniform of mullets, mustaches, tote bags, 5 panel caps, and oversized t shirts with pictures of anthropomorphic peanuts, pickles, and pizzas on them. The mob spoke a strange dialect, part Newington, I don't know who the fuck that is, and part New South Wales. It was loaded with references to dirty margaritas, home-style deep dish joints, Amel and the Sniffers tickets, and the ins and outs of working holiday visas. I get that some of those are European references, but these guys are obviously in America too. You can recognize them from the image here. If you live in any sort of urban area, you see this everywhere you go. It's just the very generic white guy. His entire life revolves around, they all wear the first of all, they all wear, when it gets colder out, they're the ones wearing Carhartt. They're men in their 30s and 40s and fucking, hopefully not 50s. I guess the 50s are the boomers. Most late 20s through 40s, who've adopted, they're white guys without personalities who have turned looking kind of funny and being into, fucking food truck style snacks is their personality. Like, it's not a thing to aspire to. Um but they're if you again there he's saying, what's he say right here? As someone who is rattling through their mid 30s, these people were subtly yet significantly different to tribes I'd encountered in London before. They appeared astoundingly confident in the face of this absurd cutthroat city. They had not just accepted gentrification that I spent my 20s half-heartedly kicking against. They seemed utterly liberated by it. Yeah, it's guys who's, it's, if you've ever been to a gentrified neighborhood like, the Brooklyns and the Hobokens of the world. This is white guys without personalities turn to whatever is sort of, they just all kind of latch on to whatever's trendy, and that becomes their personality. They glues them to being part of the pack. Now, a lot of this particular article is whatchamacallit. It's very, it doesn't translate well because a lot of the references are about like fucking England, and I don't know what a lot of this shit means. But just looking at the picture and taking some of the lines this guy uses, to understand a group, you must understand what they covet. And the Norman appears to be obsessed with the following things: bikes, beer gardens, day festivals, turnstile, chilled reds, confidence man, the bear, weekends in Marseille. So weekends in Marseille, obviously, the American version is not weekending in Marseille. Instagram chefs who use death metal typefaces, sharing plates with orange writing on them, soft scoop ice cream, loyal Carter, I don't know the fuck that is, and steady state cardio. Outside of the occasional blowout at Bistro Freddy or Cafe Sicilia, I don't know what the fuck that is, they appear to exist solely on a diet of sandwiches featuring any combination of harissa, pastrami, kimchi, parm, and sriracha. These are usually made under railway arches and served with a particular tone that somehow manages to be obsequious and arsey at the same time, as if someone told them that once that manners were for nerds, but they can't quite shake their original programming. Um, Yeah, so um it's the 2025 answer to what the 2010s Brooklyn hipster was, right? The sleeve of tattoos, the ear gauges. They were all baristas back then, and they were drinking either gin or bourbon or IPAs, right? A lot of breweries and distilleries went in and out of business very quickly in the 2010s because every asshole with a lumberjack beard and a plaid shirt decided that he was going to leave. He was going to leave corporate America and he was going to start a gin distillery in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Like I think literally all of Red Hook was just gin distilleries at one point. And that's what this is now. Apparently, the Bear or whoever any of these fucking people are are what inspires the Normans, as they have been named. I don't get it. It's not for me. I feel like the Travis Kelsey is sort of he's sort of a Norman. Not it's not a lot of jocks are Normans, but I guess yeah, Travis Kelsey seems like a bit of a Norman. Is it not? Are you guys not seeing this on my screen? It's showing, but I also see that my Wi-Fi is being a little unstable here, so maybe it's not coming through. Anyway, apologies, apologies if not. Um, yes, Blue Stroll. The mullet and mustache is quite overdone, and I'm very proud that I never fell into it. Um, So we're back to the stage. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it wasn't popping up. I apologize for whatever you were getting there. But yeah, the mullet and mustache is very overdone. Um, if you're if you're on a college campus, you're going out drinking and getting hammered every weekend. You want to do the mullet and mustache. It's fun. It's fucking kooky and weird. That's fine. Once you're a grown ass man, it's like, okay, what do that's all you're telling me with that look is that you don't have anything interesting to say. Like you're going to regurgitate whatever you heard on Pat McAfee that day. Um, and they dress like shit too. Like that's the other thing that they're part of this whole oversized clothing trend, which is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. It looks like hot fucking garbage. Like honestly, the I think the two kinds of clothing that everyone should wear is like athleisure, like good fitting athleisure, and fucking like 1950s, like basically anything that Paulie Walnuts would own. Like fucking, like shirts like this, fucking nice suits, like like a proper fucking uh guy from the old neighborhood. Yeah, fucking Jenkos look absolutely fucking ridiculous. We came to a point where we realized that there's a reason we shifted quickly from Jenkos to Abercrombie and Fitch. Like we made a dangerous course correction very quickly there because one day we looked in the mirror and we were like, "Wow, this just looks fucking stupid." Um, we did it. We need to own it. And speaking of people doing things that they need to own, if the image share wasn't working, I am going to I will hold off from sharing the image. We've all seen the image. We all know exactly what I'm talking about. It united the internet yesterday. Um, Oh, by the way, Nighttime Conqueror, I am an Abercrombie and Fitch veteran. How dare you? How dare you? Um, um, uh, the very rarely is the entire internet united on something. Usually, everything is sort of a tug of war, people choosing sides, etc. Everybody is delighting in this CEO banging the head of HR, getting caught at the Coldplay concert. Um, and like I've worked since I got out of the Marine Corps, I've worked in various corporate locales. And I'm at the first one I worked at, it wound up getting bought out by another corporate entity. And the first corporation I worked for before the buyout was like an old school fucking corporation. Like we had like a no shit Christmas party every year where they would haul in garbage cans full of booze and everybody got hammered in the office. The chicks from fucking sales dancing through the fucking hallways, it like with like fucking reindeer antlers on and their little fucking Christmas skirts and shit with double fisting bottles of red wine. Just a huge spread of food. Awesome time. Got bought out by another corporation, and they were one of these, sleek, modern. They turned out to be an absolute failure. I believe they had to sell after a couple of years, but one of these very modern corporations with a young CEO, and like he used a lot of like slick talk in his first presentation I remember after the purchase, and he did a mic drop and walk away. And it was the first time I was, because they were bringing their corporate culture to us, so a lot of the and we were the New York, department, so a lot of their kind of heads were around, and you were really getting a taste for what like proper millennial corporate culture was like. And it was a very douchey and irritating thing, and it was like literally everybody was like, whereas old school boomer corporate culture was like, it was still that like sort of cigarette smoking, grab the secretary's ass, fucking see if she'll photocopy her tits at the Christmas party type of culture that I think we can agree we all want back. And this was much more of the spunk, yay, what's our mission to better the world and all of that bullshit, and fucking, you're like, nobody is this wholesome, like nobody is this good, like we can tell you're lying. And obviously a few years, the whole Me Too thing started to unravel, and it was like, oh yeah, the guys who are driving this have also, like, it's not just the old boomers who have been molesting people. It's a lot of these fellas too. A lot of people who are in that 45 and up age range, or 40 to 50 age range in 2015, 2016. Turned out that those guys were also doing a lot of molesting. Um, that like that chunk where like Gen X was hitting upper mid management, and they were trying to stay relevant by adopting millennial values in the workplace, and millennial values at that time were being reframed as whatever the fuck the protesters at the University of what was it, Missouri, who were attacking the student journalists, whatever they wanted. It was it was a very it was when like DEI first kind of got off the ground, and I think I think everyone got really irritated by those corporate types, and I think seeing them in this moment of sheer darkness, because they're doing something that is, it's one of the douchiest things imaginable. Like uh they were at a Coldplay concert. Uh they were and I think it was they had another employee with them. So I think it was like, I don't know, it was like a corporate team building thing or whatever the fuck it was. But they're out there just being, this there's this sort of sea level fucking personality where they don't act like normal people. They think they're bigger than they are. Like this guy's the CEO of Astronomer. I don't know what the fuck Astronomer is. What is Astronomer? What does the tech world? Yeah, he's a tech CEO. Like these are, but he's like not like a real tech CEO. Like he's not Zuckerberg or fucking Bezos or any of these guys. He's a fucking, he's like, he's like the equivalent. He's like the equivalent, like a tech CEO who he's like the equivalent of like a journeyman relief pitcher. Like yeah, like you're technically in the big leagues, but you're not really like fucking like yeah, like you fill a roster spot, like you provide depth in the bullpen. That's the level of CEO this guy is. But those guys carry themselves like they're kings, and then you have nobody likes the head of corporate HR. Like the head of corporate HR is the fucking asshole who makes you take all these fucking classes, and you hate them. The head of corporate HR is the reason you can't grab the secretary's ass anymore. So to see the married CEO and the married head of corporate HR fucking grinding each other of all places on the kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, like just everyone is just loving this, as they should. You shouldn't. There's very few times when I say we should celebrate the ruining of anyone's life, but I mean this is to not understand the. I mean, obviously, I never want to see anyone's life ruined, even if they do it by their own hand. Um, but also to not see the comedy in all of this is is yeah, Blue Straw. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they were they were thinking. Like, if you're gonna have an affair, be discreet about it. Like, this is just. I mean, it's so brazen. It's so cocky, and like I think that's what it is. And I think it's almost like there's almost an element of American Psycho to this, right? Where they have that Bateman level of arrogance where they can just do whatever the fuck they want and get away with it. Um, and again, they weren't. I think it's easier to, if not judge them, at least make fun of them because they weren't doing this. They weren't exposed for something behind closed doors or anything. They were caught very, very publicly, like brazenly. Um, yes, Chairman Mao here. I don't want to ruin their lives, but I can't not enjoy the memes. That is, that's about where I think a lot of people are on this. Uh, um, but yeah. Tis what it is. Here we are. It has been an hour. Gonna go ahead and wrap things up. Good to have you guys here. A very lively comment section this evening. I appreciate it. Um, I will. I'm not sure about next week. It's touch and go. A lot of busyness going on. So we'll, we'll see. But if anything, there should be. I should have a pre-record up, I think. But we'll see. It's every week is an adventure in the summer. But anyway, tell your friends, pass it around. Thank you, Blue Stroll. Some great comments out of you tonight. Really enjoyed the input. Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary underscore Moiler. Kaz, thank you for being here. Mike's Golden Streams on YouTube, and Cheese, adios. And of course, the audio version of the show, Savage Sacktap, wherever you get your podcast. Pat Bateman, good to have you here as well. I have to return some videotapes. Adios, motherfuckers.